Hi, everybody. Welcome into today's show here on JTV. I want to thank the Insurance Circle Agency, myinsuranccircle.com, 269-200-2905. I'm David Rice. That is Adam.
Hello.
We said hello at the same time.
We did. That was weird. We'll try not to do that again.
And now people got to watch us do that like 5 times while we're on.
Yeah, that's right.
No, we're here, but we're not here today. Of course, we will not be here with you this week, which is why we're going to show you a lot of highlights today. We'll have more details on that in a minute. Then the week after that, Monday, is Memorial Day.
Yeah, that's right.
And then the day after that, Tuesday, is the Selby Track and Field Classic.
That's
right. We will have it on JTV, not live, but we will have it on JTV that weekend. And that weekend, real quick here, is Friday, May 30th and Saturday, May 31st is state finals for track and field, state finals for girls tennis, district finals for girls soccer, baseball districts, softball districts.
That's crazy.
So JTV will be everywhere that weekend in the next couple weeks. So before we get to highlights and tell you what we're going to show you on today's show, Western girls tennis advanced to the state finals now for the 5th year in a row.
Good for them.
Won the regional championship last week at Marshall. State finals will be held at U of M on May 30th and 31st. So congratulations to them. And Lumen Christie, I just got the news right before we recorded this.
Yeah, big news.
From JTV's Molly McClure. Lumen Christie girls tennis, all 4 doubles are qualifying for the state finals.
That's awesome. That is so cool.
Congratulations to Lumen and Western girls tennis. And we'll have more details on it with the show when we're back with the new show on that Wednesday. But Lumen Christie, big girls basketball coach hire as well. Scott Stein, back-to-back defending D3 state champs from Ypsi Arbor Prep. So we'll get you all caught up on everything, and NBA playoffs and hockey playoffs, anything football related when we come back. But coming up on the show today, we'll show you a lot of sports highlights. One, Lumen Christie and Napoleon softball, JTV's first ever live softball broadcast. I had a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah, that was tons of fun.
Other than us dying in the sun.
Yeah.
You were in the shade a lot. Mostly.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I got a little bit of sun, but not too bad. But, I mean, we avoided the rain. That was the thing I was the most excited about. Because I felt
But the rain started coming in during the second game, and then we saw the rainbow. That was a cool shot, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Even though I wasn't paying attention to the monitor because I'm doing the game.
Of course.
But we'll show you those softball doubleheader highlights from this past Wednesday. We'll also have lacrosse highlights, a rare occasion where I fill in on the Ahern Family Chiropractic Scholar Athlete of the Week. I did most of them last school year. Of course, we have a great sponsor, Ahern Chiropractic, this year, but I got to fill in on one of them.
Yep, got to show it.
Yep, so we'll show you that. Jackson College baseball doubleheader. We'll have some girls soccer highlights and a lot more. So I think we came up with something different than what I had here, and I forgot it.
Oh, no, you're fine. I could tell by the way he said more. Well, we're going to be doing the Parkside Roundtable that Andy was a part of. I think that was one of the cooler things that we did last year. So we haven't shown it yet on here. So I thought it would kind of be a good one to fill in if anybody hasn't seen it. It's the team that faced off against Magic Johnson.
The night that he got the nickname Magic, almost 50 years ago, just over 50 years ago now.
Yeah, and then based on that interview that Andy did with him, he remembers Parkside. He talked about the dome and everything, so he definitely remembered Parkside. So it was cool to have this round table right around that time that Andy talked to Magic and got to hear about all this. So everybody at home will be able to hear the stories from the players themselves.
Yep, so our own Andy Hawley will talk to 3 of the star players from that Parkside Eagles basketball team. And before we get to the first highlights of Lumen Napoleon softball, very important that you subscribe to JTV Sports because starting this week, but starting next week, we'll have all the girls soccer playoffs, baseball playoffs, softball playoffs. We'll have tennis state finals coming up, track and field. So we'll have all photos, video. We'll have a lot going on JTV.tv and the Center for Family Health scoreboard every day, too. yours truly.
You work hard on
I don't
that.
want the credit.
No, but you work hard on that.
Thank you. I just type words.
You do, but that's still hard work.
It's a lot of words.
Yeah, a lot of words.
So subscribe to JTV Sports for free, and you can subscribe to more than one school. So if you want to keep up with everything that's happening at every school, you can do that.
Yeah. Or if you have one kid at one school, one kid at the other school, you can get both of them.
Yep. Tyreek Hill's got like 8 kids at like 8 different
He'd be
schools.
going to a lot of different, yeah, exactly.
Anyways, enough digression here. We got to get to the highlights. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Lumen, Napoleon, softball doubleheader from last week from our great crew at JTV Sports. That one popped up shallow to left field. Miscommunication by the fielders, and that is going to drop for a base hit and an RBI. Lumen Christi early 1-0 lead at home. One ball and 2 strikes. That one was in the dirt. Let him make it 3 outs. We head to the bottom of the second. Lumen Christi still up 1-0. 3-1, that one's right in the gap, and that'll drop for a base hit. Furness going to come home, and it's 2-0 in favor of Lumen Christi. The 1-1, a straight line out to right field, and Rozak 2 for 2 on the day with their conference championship coming up on Friday. That one over the head of the second baseman. Second runner going to go home. Make that all 3 runners for Lumen. Grugy comes across the plate. That one's behind the third baseman. Inside the park for Furness, and 3 RBIs. It is 6-0 in favor of the Titans. Allowed in 7 innings. That one is fair. That was inside the line. That's Rendell with the hit, the junior number 22, and a double. Hit Rattler here. That one right off the glove of the third baseman, trying to go double. Doesn't get anything there. Shortstop got in the way of the second baseman, so a run. That one, great hit between center and left. Both runners coming home. And an RBI double, 2 RBI double for Ollie Powers, makes it 8-0 Lumen. Powers. That one deep into right field for Rendell. Gonna get past the right fielder. And 2 hits now on the day, 2 doubles for Hayden Rendell, number 22. Here's the pitch to right field for Simpson. It's going to drop for an RBI single, and the Pirates on the board.
You know, that may not seem like much, but that's huge for this Napoleon.
Get home with a short backstop, shallow pitch there. There's the first out. Runner gonna go home, gonna be close, and she's safe. The freshman Simpson. That was a close call, Max. And there's the last pitch. So Lumen Christi gets the 3rd strike and the 3rd out. Titans at home take game 1 9-2. And avoiding a late rally by Coach Brigette and the Pirates. 9-2 final, Lumen wins game 1. We'll be back with the post-game show after this. Okaneski, the hit there. Oh, didn't get on the bag, so bases loaded. Yeah, Okaneski with that hit, and then Lily Ganton.
You're right, I was here. All the powers that one way deep. It's one hop off the fence. That might clear the bags. Here comes the runner from first, rounding. And no contest at the plate. Powers helps herself out tremendously and gives herself a 3-run lead. That one hits skied high. Fall calls off the other defenders and makes the catch to end things here in the fourth. The Titans still lead by 3 as we head to commercial break. That ball dribbled to the infield. Third baseman checks the runner at second, fires over to first. We're going to try to get a double up play. No, it's a fielding error for the Pirates, and that's going to allow Ruge to score uncontested from third. Strikes on her, she's got to be conservative, but takes a full rip at that one, hits down in the outfield grass, splits the infield, and gets the opening base hit for the Pirates. Simpson gets good contact on that one. That's going to get to the outfield. Here comes the run for the Pirates, and the Pirates are on the board as Hamlin crosses home plate. The team batting well over 400. She takes a rip at that. That may be the final out as it's skied. Deep out to second base. The second baseman drifts back to the outfield grass, puts it away, and the Lumen Christi Titans take both games against the Napoleon Pirates. Game 2 finishes 4-2. We'll come up with the wrap-up after this break.
Welcome back on JTV. Thank you to Pataki Orthodontics, PatakiOrtho.com, and the Insurance Circle Agency. So coming up in this segment, we'll show you the Ahern Family Chiropractic Scholar Athlete of the Week, senior softball player Lucy Bivens from Northwest High School. Great softball pitcher, great player. And I had a rare chance this school year to fill in and do the Scholar Athlete of the Week interview.
Yeah. So
we'll have that. But first, we just apparently like lacrosse a lot.
Hey, we're getting into it.
Jackson United taking on Battle Creek Penfield lacrosse. So we'll check that out first from JTV Sports. David Rice here for JTV Sports, and I'm here to present this week's Hearn Family Chiropractic Scholar Athlete of the Week, Lucy Bivens from Northwest High School. Congratulations.
Thank you.
JTV Sports thanks Hearn Family Chiropractic for sponsoring this week's Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Back here with this week's Hearn Family Chiropractic Scholar Athlete of the Week, Lucy Bivens from Northwest High School. 3 different sports. Do you have a favorite, and tell us why?
My favorite is probably softball. I've played on a travel team since 6th grade, so I've played a lot. And also the girls, I've played with the same girls my whole life, so it's been fun to be on the same team with them.
For sure. Your coach mentioned time management. I know playing 3 sports, being a great student in the classroom, not easy to try to balance all of that. How are you able to manage time playing 3 sports and keeping up on classes?
Well, I've done it my whole life since forever, so it's kind of just normal to have that routine for me, and I like having a balanced schedule. It feels fun.
What are some of your favorite memories playing sports here at Northwest?
One of my favorite memories is when we were this year playing Tecumseh in basketball, and we were down by about 15 at halftime, and then came and fought hard, and we all worked hard and won by 1 point in the end. And that was my favorite.
Nice. So what do you think you learn playing sports or on the court or on the field that maybe you don't learn in the classroom?
I've learned that you can put trust in others, and everything's not on you, and you have to work as a team to have success.
What are you looking forward to the most with the rest of your senior year playing sports?
I'm looking forward to spending time with my friends on our softball team and working really hard so we can do good and maybe make all district or something like that.
Do you have any plans decided yet on after high school for college?
Yes, I've decided to go to Michigan State, and I'm undecided in my major yet, but I do want to stay active and play sports at state still.
Awesome. Any shout-outs or thank yous you want to give to anybody before we go?
I'd like to thank all of my coaches. They've all made a big impact in me throughout my high school career, so thank you.
Well, congratulations on going to Michigan State, and good luck the rest of your senior year.
Thank you.
JTV Sports thanks Hearn Family Chiropractic for sponsoring this week's Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Welcome back on JTV. We're brought to you by the Insurance Circle Agency, 269-200-2905, myinsuranccircle.com. Jackson College, about 2 weeks ago, by now, 2-3 weeks ago, just wrapped up their season. Unfortunately, they did not qualify for the NJCAA postseason, although Jackson College is hosting the regional tournament.
That's cool.
For Division II JUCO baseball playoffs. So if you drive by there and there's baseball happening, it's not Jackson College, even though it's at JC. But they finished 21-23 on the year, but they're still undefeated to this day.
That's right.
Every
for
single
JTV.
time we're there.
That's right.
For JTV.
For JTV.
That wasn't them.
That wasn't them, no.
But we do have a doubleheader baseball highlights. Jackson College against St. Clair SC for the Skippers. So let's take a look at JC baseball highlights from JTV Sports.
Long look down. That one barreled right. Oh, Bowers double play. Wow. And David Bowers snow-coned that ball. It almost got out of his glove. He actually wants to take a second look at it to make sure he had it. Will he attack? Miller throws the heat by Ramsey. That finishes things in the top of the first. Now the Jackson Jets hot bats, David, are going to get ready to light up the diamond.
There's 321 on the year.
That one, hard grounder. Will it get by the diving second baseman? It eats him up. He recovers and makes the out at first, but the run will score. So that one's going to go as a sacrifice grounder and a run score. Jackson freshman has to go out and shag the balls that go out into the left field and right field corners. Swinging strike 3 there, and that is their third out today. Having a low pitch count will certainly help things out. Oh, and he gets the call on the outside.
Wow.
Skippers will not be happy about the ump zone starting this game. He's got to be swinging. He cannot rely on the umpire to give him the call. And he looked for that one, tried to get it, could not. Gerolden gets the strikeout. That ends things here in the second. Score remains. Miller so far commanding the mound. That one hit deep out to left field. Montgomery can't track it down. It's over his head. He's going to run all the way to the track. That should score a run for the Skippers. Here he comes, rounding third. It's going to be a play at the plate. He dives in uncontested. Skippers tie things up after the Beltnick double. That one ripped barrel to the bat. It takes a weird hop off the grass. Right fielder able to corral it. It'll be a play at the plate again. Again uncontested. Skippers get another run across with Ramsey's RBI. Good play by Madison out there in right field, though, to corral that weird bounce. That one barreled. It's going back. Montgomery's on his horse. He's at the fence. No chance. That one is out of here for the Skippers. Flowers going to get to skip around the bases here as he rifled one out of left field, well over Montgomery's head, and just like that, the Skippers break things open and lead 4-1.
Well,
There we go. Miller gets out of the inning. You can see he's definitely frustrated with himself. He's led a lot of runs across the board. Skippers lead 5-1. Might try to get him to fish here. He doesn't, but it is called strike 3 down the outside. So that's strike 3 on Grindy, and that ends action here.
with the way that the zone's been called, so changes how you look at it.
But Miller doesn't
swing.
need a zone on that one. 3 straight strikeouts. Miller's got his mojo back.
Last game, 3-13 on the year.
Nelson grounds that one to shortstop, and there's the force play at second base. That'll do things here in the fourth. Jets come close, but still trail by 4.
Despite that big third inning for St. Clair, exceptional.
That one flied high. Wind takes it foul. No trouble for the third baseman, Kopus. And that will conclude things here in the top of the 5th. Now, we saw here the first time we broadcast live Jackson Jets baseball. Hard grounder gets past the first baseman. That will score 2 Jets, if not more. Here comes the first run. The ball dies in the grass. It's an errant throw in. 2 Jets across the plate off Grindy's bat. And now they only trail by 2. Anything hit remotely hard. Just like that. Will that drop in play? Right fielder ranging over. It does. It drops in play. That will score 1 run. Quick rifled into third. Keeps both Jets at first and second. But Kopus adds another RBI to his resume. And now the Jets only trail by 1. Here we go. Sends it in. Montgomery's going to dribble it up center. Handled by a shortstop. They get the force at second. And that'll conclude things in the 5th. The Jets rally stops a run short. Trains with the delivery. Gets it rifled right back in his face, out to center field. But right there to make the catch is Owen Zimmerman. And Zimmerman helps out his pitcher right there, ending. Great diving hit. Gets past the second baseman. That's going to plate 1 run. Here he comes, streaking around third. He's in safe. The first baseman didn't know what to do with it as Bowers capitalizes and moves into scoring position himself. Not only the hit, the 2 RBIs, but the base running wherewithal to get to second base.
Well, Bowers showing why he's our spotlight player to watch. Again, just past the glove, letting both those runners score. 2.
Leon fires another one in. That one is hooked out to left field. Will it drop? No, it gets past the head of the diving left fielder. It's going to score 1. Kopus thinks about 3 and thinks better of it. Stops with a 2-bagger RBI, his 3rd RBI on the day, and he smoked Taylor out there in left field. Leon kicks, fires. That one hit It's going to be short out to right field. Center fielder ranging in on it, but it'll be the second baseman who calls him off and makes the play. Regis makes it. Jets come back. They now lead by 2, heading into the final inning of play right around the bend on JTV. That one ripped. It's going to find the gap. It might play to Skipper. Here comes Montgomery. He'll be too late, but they're going to try to get it to third. They might have him dead to rights. Oh, they had him, but he drops the ball. Bowers cannot squeeze it at third. They had him. And Streams fires looking for the strikeout. It's batted back up the middle. Center fielder racing forward. He makes the catch, but the run will come across for the Skippers. They tie things up here at 7. But that diving web gem of a catch by Owen Zimmerman out there in center saves it. Go ahead. No, what? We have a double play. They're saying the third baseman
he left the
early.
bag early. That's it.
So, here, okay, be headed that direction. Ball there will find the gap. It does. Speedy, oh, he falls in the base path. And he runs back safely. Rashad Franklin almost cost his team right there as he got put on skates. They check him. Throw it in. That one could do it. Will it drop in front of the right fielder? It does. It gets by him. He can't find the ball. Here comes Rashad Franklin streaking around third base. It'll be a play at the plate to decide the game. Rashad Franklin is in there standing up. And the Jackson Jets walk things off in the bottom of the 7th. They will win by 1 off the amazing feat of the speedy Rashad Franklin and the bat of Noah Atherholt. Great way. Barrios fires that one right down the middle. Strike 3 swinging. And that gets the Jets out of the top of the first with no harm done. Score still 0-0. Grindy barrels that one up. Yanks it to right field. Right fielder playing so far back, it takes him forever to come onto the ball. That'll easily score the man in scoring position. And the Jets are on the board first. And if you're wondering what the 2 players behind the fence are doing, is that one skied to right field. That one playable. He looks it into his glove. That will end things here in the first inning. I'll talk about Bellamo. Enzo Bellamo. Oh! Bellamo out with the ranging, jumping catch by Atherholt, the spotlight player of the game. He's turned it on here. Wonder if it was a carp or a mackerel. That one, though, Fanning. And that will end things here in the top of the 3rd as David again reconsiders his life choices of broadcasting with me. 2 outs. Man on 3rd, and there it is. Van Ness gets him swinging. That ends things here in the 2nd. And right there, just like that, top of the 3rd has come, gone, and went.
Great throw by Jones behind the plate.
Every pickoff should count for a pitch attempt as Bowers puts one back up the middle. The shortstop gloves it. There's one and can't get it. So 1 out, but a run does come across the plate to score, so Bowers will be credited with the RBI. But I believe he does. It's low. Burkhart gets a bat on it. Does not eat up the second baseman. He makes the out, and just like that, we're through 3 here at Jackson College. That one hit right back up. Second baseman finds it into his chest, fires it over to first. They get the out. That'll end things here in the top of the 4th. I won't spoil it, but you definitely... Oh, they get the runner in a pickle. But Franklin looks like he's going to go home. It was a designed play, and they get the run, and the runner is safe at second. That worked to perfection for the Jets. An absolute disaster for the Skippers.
If Franklin came home there.
And as flies it in, that's a foul tip, strike 3. It hit the bat, found the catcher's mitt, and that ends things here in the 4th. Grounds it now to second base. Easily tosses over to first for the final out in the top of the 5th. The Jets maintain their 3-run lead, and no damage done. 2-1 count. He might get a ribby right here. And it eats up the shortstop. Fielding errors continue to plague St. Clair. That plate's 1. That plate's 2. Jets across the board. Burkhart gets 2 RBIs on a base hit. The Jets extend their lead, now leading by 5. Situation. Runner goes, and again, they fake out the skippers.
Oh.
Great job to get down his Atherhope before he got his head taken off, and excuse me, that was Sebastian Nelson. Nelson, good job to slide down as the catcher is ranging over to try to make only 2 outs though, so Skipper is very close to getting out of this thing, but just again, the shortstop makes the poor decision, but he goes back to second, and he's able to get back to the bag. The shortstop was going to second base to cover the bag when the second baseman was going there. Miscommunication again leads to a run scored for the Jets. As the runner goes for third, it's a double steal. They're both in, the ball gets away. That'll be another run scored for the Jets on yet another error in the field. The catcher overshot the third baseman. Another run comes in for the Jets. The lead is now 8. That one hits him. That is a free run. 9 runs cross the plate. After Grindy takes one for the team, literally, and gets an RBI for it. Big little pitch coming, all runners in motion with the 3-2, and that's another run walked in. Double-digit lead now for the Jets.
And that's it, because it's 10 runs after 5 innings.
That is, so we got cut very short here. Thank goodness we were able to get our 5th inning squeeze in, but that is a mercy rule here in college baseball. If you're leading by 10 through 5, that is it.
So thanks to JC, as always, for having us. They have great facilities out there. So thanks to JC for always hosting us for college baseball there, and photos from throughout the season and video highlights on our website under My School, Jackson College Jets at jtv.tv. And if you go under My School on there, you can go to both Jackson Christian and Springport and check out these girls' soccer highlights. Welcome back here on JTV. Of course, thanks to our crew and our sponsors for helping us bring you all these high school sports. We had a lot of highlights we showed today. We're not entirely done.
Yeah, that's right. We still got one more thing.
Yep, but we've had a great crew and great photographers and our production staff. Just being an announcer, I get to show up and I get paid to talk about what game we're watching, but it's really everybody behind us that makes it happen.
And a little behind the scenes thing. This has kind of been like this last game that we covered, the doubleheader. That's kind of the end of our season when you think about it, at least in terms of live sports. I know we have the Selby coming up. Maybe you could argue taped. It's that, but yeah, you're right. It's taped. So
that's a reveal.
This is kind of yeah. Well, people could probably tell, but I feel like this was the last thing live for a little bit, because then I almost feel like the start of the season is football, and then we go right into basketball after that, and and then we go into baseball soon after. So yeah, this is kind of it. So another successful season of live sports here.
Yeah, if you really think about it, depending on how deep of a playoff run boys or girls basketball team does in the playoffs, we only get a couple of weeks between basketball and then first JC game.
Right.
So back to one more thing we want to show you before we wrap up. The 1975 Parkside High School basketball team. Andy Hawley talked already. I know time flies by. It was already quite a bit ago, really.
Yeah, that was a few months ago already at this point, yeah.
But it's still, this year marks 50 years since Magic Johnson from Lansing Everett High School came down to Parkside High School, at the time Parkside High School, and played against these three players from that team that Andy talked to. And let's take a look and show you a few minutes of it. We'll be back to wrap up after that.
Hey everybody, Andy Hawley here, and I am excited to be joined by 3 of the 5 starters from the 1975 Parkside Eagles. That year was so important. Magic Johnson came down for Lansing Everett, and after a game against Parkside, he was given the nickname Magic by a Lansing State Journal reporter. And here to talk about that game are 3 Parkside legends who were stars in that game and stars for Parkside. First, to my right, Frank Hampton, Dave Sierra, and Rocky Hester. What's up, guys?
Hey, what's going on, Andy?
How are you? It's been cool kind of reliving some of this stuff. Frank, you and I talked on the phone the other day. I'll start with you. What do you remember, because you're the youngest of the group, what do you remember about that game?
Well, I think the thing that I remember the most was the billing that they gave Magic Johnson. Yeah. In my eyes, I didn't see him like that because I was competing against him. I didn't want to see him as great like that. You know what I mean? I was coming from a player's perspective. People was talking about him from a fan perspective. Idolizing him, so to speak. And that just gave us more fuel to bring it down to earth, so to speak. Yeah.
So, Dave, tell me a little bit about that game. You guys were all stars. You and Rocky led the offense in that game, but there was really nothing you can do once Magic took the floor, right?
Well, no. The short answer is nothing we could do. But going back to either the first or second game of the year, we played Everett at Everett before, he was Magic Johnson.
Sure.
And as I recall, and Rocky, you have probably the best memory of the 3 of us, but we gave them all they wanted for most of the game. And Rocky thinks that Irvin
got in foul trouble.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he played about a half a game.
Okay.
But
and you saw his talent right away. You knew this was a special talent.
I came home. I seen Mike Ingram. He graduated the year before in '74, and he said, "Rock, how did the game go?" And I said, "They got this guy up there, Irvin, man. He's got to be the best player in Lansing right now." And Coach Fox pretty much let him do what he wanted. At 6'8", he brought it up, and he got a few silly fouls, but I seen the talent that first game.
See, and I really didn't have that impression because I didn't see that much of them, and again, the world was much smaller then.
Right.
I mean, there was no internet, there was no YouTube, And start of the year, if you weren't reading it in the Lansing State Journal or Jackson Citizen Patriot,
Absolutely.
you know, that wasn't happening. So I don't really have memory of that first game of.
And I don't
you know,
think Coach
Magic
Fox
being
showed everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because
And
you weren't just a regular team coming up. You
Right.
guys were a great team.
We were great, and they did beat us.
And he didn't use him in the
Bye.
press that first game.
Okay.
But that second game,
Okay.
he flashed him into the top of the key. We
Yeah.
pressed the whole game. And I used to average 1 or 2 steals a game, and I got one at least coming from behind, running it down. I couldn't catch him.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like 4 or 5 dribbles, and he was at the free throw line.
Frank, you're a sophomore. You're a sophomore at the time. Irvin's a sophomore at the time, and you guys would go on to have some battles, and we'll get to that. But for you as a sophomore, you know, what did you think of him as a talent?
I was a junior.
Oh, you were a junior. Okay.
Yeah, and Irvin was a sophomore.
Okay.
I've never seen nothing like it because I've never seen a guy that, 6'8" or whatever, handle the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
These were probably 2 of the best ball handlers I ever played with. You know
Sure.
what I'm saying? And he was coming down handling it. I've never seen that.
And, I've heard a lot of stories from people that were at the game. Tell me what it was like at the game. I'll start. Any of you guys can chime in. How many people were there? What?
It was sold out.
Yeah.
They were
And
packed.
it was packed. A lot of people don't remember, but we had bleachers on all 4 sides of the floor.
Okay.
And they were pretty much up to the dome. I mean, more than halfway up to the dome. And it was packed.
Yeah.
And Irvin approached me before the game. And I met him. And we talked for a minute. And once the game started, I don't know. I was sharing it with Dave. Coach Sierra changed our offense. And for some reason, he had Dave right on the point. And we usually had 2 at the point. And then we would flash through. But Dave was up there isolated, and we were just looking at him. And the next thing I know we're down 24-2.
And I told you I did not remember that, but my recollection or take on the game, and I shared this with you when we spoke earlier, but the legend wasn't what certainly took place later on, and I saw him before the game, and he was moving through the crowd and high-fiving, and I remember thinking to myself, man, that young guy, he's not ready to play.
Yeah.
He's we're going to get him tonight. And like I say, within the first 3-4 minutes of the game,
Yeah, we were down by doubles, and then first quarter we were down 24-2.
It was obvious that
Sure.
it was just.
And I just think when Coach changed the offense, he just put us behind for some reason. I don't know why. We just played a Tuesday game, and then he said, we're going to do this for the Friday game. And I think it caught us all off guard. And David just broke Tony's record a week or 2 before. He dropped in 46. I had 26 that game. And then the following week, I had 26 at half, and I didn't play the rest of the game, so we were on fire.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't. And I asked Dave about that today. Why did he do that?
Yeah.
And
You guys.
And I had no memory
What's interesting
whatsoever.
What's interesting about that game too, if you look at the stats, you guys were both still able to get yours a little bit. Scored a lot of points in that game. Let me ask you, so you're playing him as you're a junior, he's a sophomore. He's not Magic yet. So next year, it's Magic, and Frank has the assignment. Tell me a little bit about that, some of those matchups, because I've heard those were legendary. And I do know that you went toe-to-toe for Magic in the last game you guys ever played. Magic's team won by 4. You guys each had 21 points. And the people I talked to tell me that beyond a doubt, you gave Magic more than he ever thought he was going to get that game. Just tell me a little bit about playing Magic as Magic.
Sometimes it's difficult to assess Magic because when you're basically going by stats,
Yeah.
'cause there's times when he would come down, he'll pass the whole first half.
Sure.
He'll still end up with 23, 24, 25 points.
Yeah.
And you feel like, I held him down to 25 points, but not really.
Yeah.
He
He's part of 50.
he came down, he just passed and got it.
Yeah.
everybody in it and got the whole crowd excited and everybody going. Then there's a part of the game where he would just go down and take over and do what he do. You know, so it'd be hard to try to assess Magic just from looking at the stat sheet.
Yeah.
As far as points go.
Sure.
You know?
Now, Dave.
But as I say, as I know, Frankie gave him everything he wanted, and to tell you a minute about my dear friend Frank, and this phrase was not used back then, but Frank had a very high basketball IQ. I mean, I kind of had tunnel vision. I could shoot, I could score, and Rocky could do probably more than I was able to. But Frank, when you play defense, he can play defense. You need him to rebound, he can rebound. You need him to handle the ball, he can handle the ball. You need him to score, he could score. So Frank was the real deal.
Oh, yeah.
And that's, I just wanted to get that out on the record.
Yeah.
Frankie could play.
Frank legend. That's what we're told.
Frank
and
could play.
That's what, people who witnessed you guys play. I mean, we're still talking about it.
So thank you to everybody at Parkside, and the whole team, by the way, was here in the studio.
That
to
was
watch.
really cool. Yeah, you couldn't really see that at home, but I was down there on the floor for this, and everybody was around me, around the cameras, watching it kind of behind the scenes. It was really cool to be able to do that and really kind of showcase this team that, some people, especially if they're not from this area, kind of maybe forgotten about. I know that was a big thing that they said was like, because Parkside High School isn't there anymore, it's just the middle school, they feel like kind of their legacy is kind of being forgotten. So we hope that this kind of helps solidify that and kind of put that in video.
Yeah, and we only showed you just one portion of it. The whole discussion was, I believe, around or just over 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So we have the full discussion on our website.
Site. Yeah, it's on our site, our YouTube, and then also played as a Jackson show. Probably not going to be the only time we show that as a Jackson show, so you'll be able to find a more condensed version on there as well. But full one is on the website, so you got to jump on there and see it.
JTV.tv. Probably just search for Parkside, too.
Yep, they would come up.
there,
Parkside Eagles. I know that for sure.
The Eagles.
The Eagles of Parkside.
So, again, subscribe to JTV Sports. Check out our Center for Family Health scoreboard and our orthopedic rehab specialist photo galleries online, jtv.tv. Because when we come back on Wednesday after Memorial Day, we're going to have a lot of catching up to do.
Man.
And we're going to preview all the girls' soccer districts, softball districts, baseball districts, track and field state finals, tennis state finals, and probably NBA, NFL. We're not going to have time to
I know,
do
it's
all
going to
of
be a
that.
long show, and then we'll catch up on the Tigers as well. They'll have a few series done by that point, so man, oh man.
Two great walk-offs back-to-back days
Yes.
here. I know this, this is the next week after,
No, of
but
course.
Javi Baez.
Man, not a better
comeback for
better
him.
story in baseball than Javi Baez right now to pair with Torkelson. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Yep.
Awesome to see it.
So go Tigers. Thank
Go
you to
Tigers.
Pataki Orthodontics. Thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency. And if you're watching before Memorial Day, have a great holiday
Yes.
weekend, too.
Yes.
So that's Adam. I'm David. And we will talk to you again soon.
Soon.
So we'll talk to you later.